Good morning to Madam Fatima and my friends. I'm Agnes Orienton from 4 PISMP Science 2. Today, I'm going to present my continual assessment about the issue pertaining to the implementation of assessment in Malaysian science education. The issue I found in the implementation of assessment in Malaysian science education is teacher competencies in assessment. Here is the table of content for my presentation. First, I will give an introduction about classroom-based assessment in Malaysia. At the same time, I also introduce about the issue which refer to the teacher competency in classroom-based assessment. Next, the following topic is about the strengths and weaknesses when teacher competencies is found as an issue in classroom assessment. Lastly, the solution to solve the issue also will be explained in the presentation. Now, I'm going to have an introduction about the classroom-based assessment in Malaysia. In 2011, school-based assessment was introduced by the Ministry of Education Malaysia in all primary schools nationwide. Then, school-based assessment is known as classroom-based assessment in 2016. From the statement, we can clearly see that the classroom-based assessment is not a sudden action carried out by the government, but it is already introduced in the primary school since 2011. So, what is a classroom-based assessment? How a classroom-based assessment is carried out? Classroom-based assessment is a continual assessment in the learning process that involves the process of gathering information about a student's progress, development, abilities, and their achievement. At the same time, classroom-based assessment carry out both formative and summative assessment for all KSSR subjects from year 1 to year 6 in the primary school. When the practice of classroom-based assessment in primary school started, Kesatuan Perkhidmatan Perguruan Kebangsaan claims that over 10,000 teachers opt for early retirement almost every year due to the excessive workload. This is because teachers are burdened with tasks other than their essential role as educators. This includes classroom-based assessment evaluation. Teacher competency is the main factor causing the excessive workload and the early retirement of teachers. Teacher competencies is referred to the ability and the knowledge that enable a teacher to excel academically. In classroom-based assessment, teacher competency can be divided into three parts, which is knowledge, skill, and readiness of teacher. According to the study, it indicates that the level of teacher knowledge regarding the implementation of classroom-based assessment is high, while the level of teacher skill and the level of teacher readiness for the implementation of classroom-based assessment is only at a moderate level. So now I'm going to explain one by one. First, it is about the knowledge. Here, the knowledge is more referred to the fact or the information received by the teacher about the classroom-based assessment. The teacher in primary school possesses sufficient background knowledge about the classroom-based assessment, and they have a clear understanding that classroom-based assessment is a continual assessment process within the classroom and obtaining information about the student progress and their mastery level. The knowledge about the classroom-based assessment is gained by the teacher through course, seminars, workshops, and sharing sessions with experienced individuals provided by the Malaysian government. Consequently, a high level of knowledge regarding to the implementation of classroom-based assessment at school level, which includes planning for student assessment, the frequency of assessment, assessment activities, and assessment timing have been achieved among the teacher in primary school. Second, it is about the skill in implementing classroom-based assessment. The skill is referred to the ability of teacher to do or carry out classroom-based assessment. The proper skill needed to carry out classroom-based assessment involve effective application techniques, conducting thorough observation, mastering assessment data to make informed follow-up decisions. This skill in classroom-based assessment also encompasses determining suitable assessment objectives based on the curriculum and the student level of comprehension. Possessing this classroom-based assessment skill, it enables teachers to establish a powerful learning and teaching atmosphere for their students. However, based on the study referred to, teachers have only attained a moderate proficiency level in implementing classroom-based assessment. The study highlighted that teachers still lack clear and precise information regarding the proper executive techniques, conducting thorough observation, and fully grasping assessment data to make informed follow-up decisions. They lack proper guidance in implementing classroom-based assessment and only implement classroom-based assessment based on the provided simple guidance only. The third part is the readiness. This part is more referred to the teacher are ready or not to implement the classroom-based assessment. Okay, so the teacher readiness in classroom-based assessment has been questioned despite the implementation of classroom-based assessment for several years since 2019. And according to the research finding, there are still teachers who feel confused about the assessment implementation, and most teachers still practice one-sided teaching techniques which focus on the teacher. And they still struggle to fully adapt the globalization era that emphasize assessment within the classroom. And traditional teaching techniques that lack creativity and innovation are still prevalent and hindering the progress and development of classroom-based assessment implementation. And some teachers also have voiced their need for sufficient time to carry out classroom-based assessment. Thus, teacher readiness in implementing classroom-based assessment is only at a moderate level for now. Okay, next slide is about the questionnaire. To prove my findings, a questionnaire is carried out among 5 science teachers from 2 primary schools in Johor through Google Form. And to protect the privacy of the respondents, the primary school name as well as the teacher name will not be stated in this presentation. From the result of the questionnaire, all of the science teachers know about classroom-based assessment and they practice classroom-based assessment when they are teaching. At the same time, all of them think that classroom-based assessment burden teacher and cost them less focus to play role as an educator in teaching. Okay, next. 80% of the respondents, which is the science teacher, are agreed that teachers have enough knowledge about the classroom-based assessment and there no need any knowledge improvement. Next, not only that, 80% of the respondents think that teachers still need improvement of skills in practice classroom-based assessment. At the same time, 80% of respondents think that teachers have not totally mastered the way of practicing classroom-based assessment. They think teacher is not ready yet to evaluate the student by classroom-based assessment. So from the result of the questionnaire, we can clearly see that the teacher think that they are not ready yet to evaluate students' understanding level by the classroom-based assessment. Now I will evaluate the issue of teacher competency in implementing classroom-based assessment from the strength, weakness, and the solution. When the issue of teacher competency in classroom-based assessment happens, the strength can be also found. For example, here is awareness and recognition, research and best practice development, and the last strength is the parent and community involvement. First, I will explain about awareness and recognition. When the issue of low teacher competency in classroom-based assessment is recognized, it serves as a crucial step towards improvement within the education system. This recognition brings to light the significance of effectiveness assessment practice and the crucial role teachers play in shaping the learning experience of students. It acts as an important reminder to encourage those in charge of education and those involved to give priority to increase the teacher abilities and skills in this particular field. Additionally, this recognition of student competency deficiency can be an effective motivator for educators. Teachers are likely to feel forced to look for professional development alternatives after realizing that they lack understanding in assessment practice. These changes serve as a platform for developing skills as well as a greater understanding of the concepts of classroom-based assessment. Teachers who participate in such targeted professional development can considerably increase their competency and close the achievement gap, which will eventually result in a better assessment practice and a more effective learning environment for students. Here is some example of news that reported that about the teacher competency. For example, the title of the news, "Our country Malaysia are not ready yet for a classroom-based assessment." Not only that, most of the news also reported teachers feel stressed and burdened with the excessive workload, which is mostly referred to the reporting-based classroom-based assessment. And the next rank is a research and best practice development. When an issue in teacher competencies in classroom-based assessment is acknowledged, the educational community may take proactive action, especially in the field of research and development of best practice. This recognition frequently acts as a catalyst, encouraging academic institutions, educators, and researchers in education to explore further into efficient assessment producers. The goal is to comprehend, examine, and pinpoint the methods and the strategy that result in successful student evaluation in classroom-based assessment. Research efforts are started to investigate various evaluation techniques, tools, and methods in response to this demand. When evidence-based strategy that can be greatly improve the evaluation procedure is identified, the focus on training and support also increased to develop the best practice of teacher competency in classroom. And the next rank is parents and community involvement. When there is a concern about the teacher not having all the skills in assessing how well students are learning, it signals the need to actively engage and communicate with the parents and the community. It is hoped that by being more involved, parents and community will support and join in the educational process. We can work together to address any teacher competency issue by building a close relationship between the school, parents, and community. This involvement including encouraging open communication, exchanging useful information, and asking parents and the community for advice and support. The communication between school, parents, and communities is important to prevent misunderstanding. Parents and community will be understood when teachers are not ready and need more time to adapt into the classroom-based assessment. By working together, a system for support for students can be developed and make sure that all of the educational needs are satisfied. Only the strength, we also find some weakness in the issue of teacher competencies based on the classroom-based assessment. The first one is the inconsistent grading and feedback. First of all, we look at the news reported by Utusan Malaysia. It is giving a sentence about classroom-based assessment does not have a fixed format, and this is a variation in assessment practice between teacher and school. This can lead to unfairness among students in different schools. Furthermore, there is not clear national standard, making it difficult to compare assessment results between different schools. Okay, and for the issue reported from the Utusan Malaysian News, inconsistent grading and feedback can be seen clearly. One of the challenges associated with inconsistent grading and feedback is varied interpretation and the application of grading criteria among teachers. The way that different teachers understand and apply grading standards can lead to differences in how they evaluate and grade the same piece of student work. The student may feel insecure and unfairly treated as a result of lack consistency. Moreover, the absence of standardized feedback practice presents a significant challenge. Students struggle to understand how to improve their performance and achieve the stated learning objective when there is no consistent procedure for giving feedback. This inconsistency in the assessment process can have a negative impact on students, leading to confusion and frustration regarding how they are performing academically. Furthermore, it affects their motivation and understanding of their strength and weakness. Clear, standardized feedback is essential for students to understand where they can improve and how to align with the education goals. Besides, inconsistent grading makes it difficult to track student academic growth and determine whether their progress is aligned with the curriculum goals. Next, the weakness of teacher competency issue is lack of adaptability to student needs. From the news reported, the practice of class segregation based on students' academic proficiency level should be completely discontinued starting from 2019. This means that the students in a class may be different learning level. Thus, it leads to the issue of teacher competency and lack of adaptability of student needs. Lack of adaptability of student needs points to the situation where teachers encounter difficulty in tailoring assessment to match diverse needs, capabilities, and learning style of individual students due to the insufficient skill or understanding. Okay, in this situation, when the activity carried out in classroom-based assessment are over complex or go beyond their current level of understanding, some students could feel overloaded. This can lead to frustration and make it more difficult for them to demonstrate their true understanding of the subject matter. On the other hand, certain assessments may not provide sufficient challenge for some students, being too easy or failing to stimulate their intellectual growth. The lack of challenge can result in a stagnant learning experience. A small percentage of students may find assessment less engaging if different learning styles are not taken into account while constructing the activity in classroom-based assessment. The evaluation process might become less productive and less accurate when different learning styles are involved. As a result, the classroom-based assessment managed by the teacher are not fair and not relevant and effective. Okay, next, the weakness of the issue of teacher competency is that difficult in utilizing technology for assessment. So the statement, a 2020 report from the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization indicated that 56% of teachers have received training to teach online but do not have the adequate training to implement technology in the classroom. So, the statement proves that teachers face problems in implementing technology in classroom-based assessment. One of the weaknesses of the issue of teacher competency is that the teachers are facing difficulty in utilizing the technology for assessment. When teachers aren't familiar with using the digital tools effectively for assessing students, it creates a challenge. Some teachers may not know about the various educational technologies available or how to use them as well. This lack of awareness makes it hard for them to choose the right tools and apply them effectively for the assessment. Additionally, keeping up with the constantly evolving world of educational technology is tough, especially when new tools regularly come out. This knowledge gap means that they might miss out on the best assessment tools. It's also important to address concerns about privacy and the security too, as some teachers are worried about unauthorized access to student personal information when using the digital assessment methods. And the difficulty in utilizing technology for assessment can limit the potential benefits that technology can bring to education. Technology can streamline assessment process, offer students instant and targeted feedback, and facilitate efficient data collection for a better understanding of student progress and performance. When teachers struggle with using technology, it can increase their workload and hinder the positive effect of technology on education. So after knowing the weakness of the issue of teacher competency, there are some solutions to solve the issue of teacher competency. The first solution is clear guidelines and resources. One way to improve the implementation of classroom-based assessment in Malaysian education is by providing teachers with clear and comprehensive guidelines for its effective implementation. These guidelines should encompass detailed instructions on how to design assessment in line with the classroom-based assessment principle, including specifying grading criteria. Moreover, to support teachers in implementing these guidelines, a range of comprehensive resources should be made available. These resources can offer practical examples, templates, and case studies to aid teachers in understanding and applying their teaching practice effectively in classroom-based assessment. One example of standardized grading resources introduced by Government Malaysia is Document Standard Curriculum dan Pendaftaran, which is known as DSKP. In DSKP, it comprises the content standard, learning standard, and the performance standards. There are 6 performance levels in performance standards. Teachers may grade students by the guideline given. And the next solution is regular professional development days. To enhance teacher competency in classroom-based assessment, it is essential to allocate specific days dedicated to professional development focusing on classroom-based assessment. This designated day should be utilized for organizing training sessions, workshops, and collaborative meetings centered around the principle and practice of classroom-based assessment. Such sessions can provide teachers with opportunity to deepen their understanding, share best practice, and receive guidance from the expert. Professional development days ensure the teachers stay updated with the latest advancement and refine their skill designing and implementing effective assessment aligned with classroom-based assessment. And one of the examples is Professional Learning Community, which is known as PLC. PLC is a school-wide system of teacher teams who collaborate on issues of instruction, assessment, and other school topics with the goal of improving students' learning. The issue of teacher competency also may bring to a discussion in the PLC. The third solution to solve the issue of teacher competencies is incorporate classroom-based assessment in teacher education programs. A fundamental approach to improving teacher competencies is integrating classroom-based assessment, training, and methodologies into pre-service teacher education programs. This integration ensures that future educators are equipped with the necessary skill, knowledge, and understanding of classroom-based assessment right from the beginning of their teaching careers. Including classroom-based assessment in teacher education program ensure a strong foundation in assessment principle, which is essential for effective teaching and assessment practice throughout their careers. It prepares new teachers to seamlessly apply classroom-based assessment in their teaching methodologies once they enter the profession. That's all for my presentation. Thank you.